Hi guys, this is going to be my first wedding vlog, wedding planning vlog. I wanted to keep it kind of casual, so that's why you see me hanging out in my living room rather than in my normal filming area. No makeup on, just kind of hanging out, talking to you guys. I had asked you guys in my engagement video if you wanted to see like wedding planning vlogs and everything like that, and a bunch of you said yes. So that is why I'm starting to do these. I'm not really sure how often I'm going to do them, every couple of months, whenever something new happens, but I just wanted to make my first one now because we had booked a venue last week. So I kind of want to like catch you guys up on talking with my hands what's been going on. So for those of you guys who don't know, this is your first time watching, me and my fiance had gotten engaged around Christmas time, and it is now March. So we've had like 3 months of kind of getting the ball rolling, getting ideas, getting a whole bunch of like just what we want in our heads kind of, and you know, telling family members, asking people to be in our wedding party, and or just in general like figuring out who we want at our wedding party and all of that. So it's been a pretty kind of crazy 3 months, considering that my best friend is getting married this year in October. So we've been doing stuff for her wedding and just everything. So we had gotten engaged in December, and we kind of already knew the kind of wedding we wanted, like theme-wise, I guess. It's always kind of been like that secret Pinterest board that everybody has before they get engaged, and I've always really wanted like a comic book nerdy wedding. It's always been like my personality and everything like that, and Eric has always been on board with that, so that was really easy. Not everyone was on board at first. My mom, her first reaction was like, is everyone going to dress up like superheroes? And I had to kind of tell her that it would be kind of like, not a classy comic book wedding, like little things here and there. So that's been really fun, kind of showing her the different things that I wanted. I have a binder, which I'll show you guys later, of like different ideas and stuff like that. So it was just kind of getting the ball rolling in like the planning process. And you don't think before you start planning a wedding all the stuff that goes into like the start of it. You get so many questions as soon as you tell people you got engaged. And for me it was slightly different because I don't have a ring. I don't wear jewelry all the time. I think the only piece of jewelry I wear every so often is earrings. I'm not even wearing them now, but I usually wear earrings, and I wear this key necklace that Eric had gotten me a couple Christmases ago every so often, but I don't wear jewelry. So Eric had proposed to me, like I said in my engagement video, like a penguin, and he gave me a pebble. So I don't have a ring to show people. And I'm like, everyone's like, oh, you got engaged, where's your ring? And I'm just like, I don't have one. So aside from that being the first question everyone asks, when you guys gonna get married? When do you want to get married? What's your theme? What's your colors? And they want to know everything. So at first it was a little overwhelming. I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, I know that I want a comic book wedding, and at first people were like, comic book wedding? What are people gonna cosplay? Is Batman gonna marry you? That's like people's like first instinct, I guess, when they hear comic book wedding. But it's been a really big help to go on Offbeat Bride. I'll link it below. Offbeat Bride is seriously the best thing that has ever happened to me kind of getting into planning my wedding. Just because you don't feel like you're alone. Like, if I'm like, I want to make flowers out of comic books, then people have made flowers out of comic books. If you don't want to do something, like if you feel kind of weird about like, oh, well, we're not doing this, or we're doing this instead of this, people, it's like a little support team. It's just really awesome to kind of see people who either share your ideas or support your ideas. It's just really awesome. That has been a big help. So when other people look at me like I'm crazy when I say I want a comic book wedding, there are people on there who are just like, that is a really cool idea. And it's just really awesome. So through the midst of starting planning my wedding and helping my best friend plan hers, she had formally asked me to be her maid of honor. And up until last summer, when I saw other people get asked. I didn't know people formally asked anybody to be in their wedding party. I thought it was just like, hey, you want to be my bridesmaid? But I guess with like Pinterest and everything else now, it's become a thing. And I really liked that idea. So I'm not showing it yet because I haven't formally asked anybody who's going to be my wedding party yet. They kind of know, but I wanted to make them little gifts. And that's going along with my theme. One of the first things we decided on with our our bridal party and our theme was that we with the whole comic book thing was we wanted our groomsmen and our bridesmaids and our bridal party to pick superheroes as kind of like their superhero characters to kind of define them. And that kind of went along with the first issue that happened with the wedding, and that was wedding colors, because apparently it's one of the first things you have to pick is your wedding colors. And I can see why when planning the wedding to kind of base it around wedding colors, but I was a little overwhelmed because unlike, I want to say for like the longest time, I was like, my wedding colors will be purple and black because, hello, I love purple and black. And when I said that, people were like, oh, you're having a comic book wedding. That doesn't really scream comic books to me. And I had to kind of process the whole thing of what screams comic books to people. What screams comic books to me? Like, what do you mean? Color schemes, bright colors, oh boy. So that was like the first kind of issue. Eric and I tossed around ideas of like color schemes with our favorite comic book characters, like Batgirl, Batman, Green Arrow, and none of it really just kind of like clicked. You know that feeling where you just kind of clicks and it's just perfect? None of that had that feeling until I was browsing online, and I wanted my girls to wear Converses because I'm going to be wearing Converses. And I saw this picture of all the bridesmaids wearing black, and it must have been like a rainbow wedding or something, but all their Converses were different colors. And it just kind of clicked to me, and I was just like, that's what I want to do. So our first big decision in wedding planning, aside from who we want to be in our wedding, was that we wanted everyone to pick comic book characters, and the colors they would wear would kind of coincide. For instance, I'd ask the girls just simply, if you had to pick one comic book character, who would you be and why? Or just who would you be? And my maid of honor decided to pick Poison Ivy, so she would be wearing a black dress, and her Converses would be green to kind of match Poison Ivy. And I had seen online the little, like, what are those things? Pendants I'm going to make with Poison Ivy on it, which is going to be on her bouquet, which is going to be made out of comic books. So she will, in a sense, be dressed up as Poison Ivy, but not really. Like, it'll be little subtle things. Another one of my girls picked Wonder Woman, so she'll have red Converses or blue, whatever she decides. Same thing with a black dress, the little pendant, and the comic book flowers. Another one of my girls picked Rogue, so on and so forth. And the guys would be kind of the same thing, where they'll be in black with the color Converses that they had picked. One of my friends had picked Superman, so his will be blue. His cufflinks will be Superman, and he'll have a Superman shirt underneath his button-down shirt. So it's like subtle little things that they'll pick their characters. And Eric and I had decided on. It took a while because we were originally going to do Batgirl and Batman, because you guys know, Batman is like my all-time favorite, like, comic book, movie, anything. But for Valentine's Day, I had gotten Eric the Green Arrow, Black Canary wedding issue from when they got married. And it just kind of clicked. We both love the show Arrow. He loves Green Arrow. I love Green Arrow. Black Canary is another one of my favorite comic book characters, and it just kind of clicked. So we had picked, just because they are a couple, Green Arrow and Black Canary, and that is actually like the cover of one of the comics, is the cover of my wedding binder. So we had picked Green Arrow and Black Canary as our characters. So that was the first main big decision we made, was that. I'm not really sure if that's how it should have gone, but that was one of the big main decisions that we had made. So that's awesome. So we have our bridal party picked out and our colors. So when people ask, oh, what are your colors going to be? I'm not gonna say like purple or pink or whatever it is. I'm just gonna say it's gonna be black and comic book print because that's essentially what it is. So, that was the first main kind of hurdle we went over, and it was pretty awesome because I did a post on Offbeat Bride about it to kind of get people's opinions on it, and it was such awesome feedback. So that's another thing where it helps out a lot to kind of get other people's opinions that aren't in like the bridal party or in your little circle, to kind of get opinions and thoughts, and it's really awesome. So that brings us to like roughly like February time, where I actually went to my first bridal show, which ended January, beginning of February, which was, it was a different experience. It wasn't the Offbeat Bride one. It was just a local one put on by one of our bigger radio stations. It was definitely a different experience. I had gone with my best friend who was also getting married, and one of our friends' who's also getting married, and one of our friends who had already gotten married. And just to kind of look at vendors and kind of get an idea and enter into those contests and stuff. It was definitely a different experience. I didn't hate it. I just kind of felt like it wasn't for me. Like, that feeling where I'm like, oh, that's cool, but none of this stuff here would be useful, aside from the fact that the photographer I was looking into was going to be there, and I kind of wanted to look in the photo booths. That was really it. It wasn't like super duper helpful. The fashion show they did, I just really felt like none of the dresses appealed to me, and it was just, I know I'm gonna be very difficult and not picky, but different. So obviously a normal bridal show really wouldn't appeal to me. But it was fun. Like, we got to taste cakes, and it was a nice kind of bonding experience with me and my like best friend and stuff like that. It was fun. It just didn't really like inspire me a whole lot. Aside from things that I didn't want. But that was that. And then we had booked appointments with venues to look at venues, and we had gone last week to book our venue, so we have a date. We are going to be getting married October 1st, 2016, and the venue that we have picked, I'm not going to say the venue because that's kind of creepy, but it's one of those, like, not all-included venues, but you get married there, you can have the reception there, the catering is taken care of. If you want, they can do the cake. They can do centerpieces if you wanted to. They do a lot of stuff. But we're doing a lot of the things ourselves too. Like, I want to make the centerpieces. I want to make a lot of the decorations. But a lot of it is included. So it's a lot less stress that I have to worry about personally. And since my mom is helping us pay for it, we brought her along. And it was a really nice experience. It wasn't, I was kind of afraid at first because of other people's reactions to when I told them that the kind of wedding I was having, like, oh, we're having a comic book wedding. That's weird. I was kind of thinking that maybe this, like, wedding coordinator would think I was strange, but she actually thought it was really awesome. It was kind of like, oh, this is kind of like a breath of fresh air, so that was really nice. So we have a date picked, a venue picked, and everything's kind of coming into its own. So when we told our families when the wedding date was, I told my grandmother when the wedding date was and what the theme was. She was so funny. She was like, comic book theme? Does that mean I have to dress like a Wonder Woman? Like, she also thought it was going to be like kind of like a cosplay kind of thing, which was kind of hilarious. I almost told her she had to dress like Wonder Woman. But it was really awesome. But everyone's been pretty supportive about things. Like, I have a really awesome kind of like team helping me out with like my friends and stuff. So I'm gonna be asking my bridesmaids soon, because I like that, even though I didn't think I would like the idea of asking my bridesmaids to be my bridesmaids with gifts. Making the gifts and everything like that were really cool, and I'm probably gonna do a separate video and blog post on how I did that, because I made a lot of it, and that's a lot of this wedding is gonna be a lot of do-it-yourself stuff. I'm gonna be doing a ton of blog posts on different crafts and stuff, so it's gonna be fun. But the first thing that I did make was my binder, which I'm telling you guys is a complete, like, I didn't think I would be one of those brides who would have a binder, because I thought it was kind of crazy, but you wouldn't believe how easy it is to keep, especially when like papers and stuff just kept piling up with information. So it's really helpful because I can keep, rather than having like a Pinterest board, which is kind of weird to pull out when you're at like vendors and stuff, I have like all of my ideas in here. Just trying to randomly pull out a page. Like, I have all of my like stuff printed out, so that way I can just show them. Like, these are my ideas. These are the things that I want. I have, like, my dress ideas, my, like, ideal dress and Converses, because I'm gonna wear Converses, because that's just who I am. Different decorations. Like, for instance, we want to do comic book centerpieces, so that's in there. It's just a lot of the stuff that I did find on Pinterest, I like saved and printed out and put in here, just so I had all my ideas with me. And then I have like a little section for like my vendor information and my budgets, calendars, checklists, like everything. I have other little sections that have to be made, but I didn't think that I would actually need a binder until my venue actually gave me a folder and said, you have to bring this with you every time, because I'm going to give you worksheets and I'm going to give you things that you have to fill out. And I was like, okay, so I guess I'm gonna make a binder with it all. So it has been really helpful, and it was really fun to kind of put together. It's just a regular Staples binder, and then I put the green arrow thing on the front. But it's not, like, super crazy. Like, it's not, like, one of those huge binders that you see, like, brides walk in with. But it is really helpful just to kind of keep it all together and keep everything organized, because that's just how I am. I'm very organized. But so far, the whole wedding planning process has been fairly fun. It hasn't been, like, really stressful, aside from, like, the idea of dress shopping. Which, that's going to bring me on to another section. That is basically it. Aside, we haven't really done a lot of wedding crafts lately, or at all, aside from the asks, the little ask things that I'm making for the girls and for the guys. That's basically it. Not a whole lot to kind of talk about. I was really rambling. I apologize. Just trying to get all the information out, and yeah. So, I don't know, do you guys like these wedding vlogs? Do you want me to keep going with them? Let me know in the comments below if you want me to keep going with them, or give it a thumbs up if you like it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful and just kind of fun just to sit down and do some chit-chat rather than speak about beauty things or clothes and stuff. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.